Welcome to our City Council meeting, Tuesday, January 29th. We'll call this meeting to order, and we will begin with the Pledge of Allegiance and invocation by Councilman Henderson.
Please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We're going to be reading from Mark chapter 3, verse 24. And if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. And if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. Would you bow with me in a word of prayer, please? God, we're up here as individuals tonight, but may we, and even though we may have differences, help us to unite as one for the good of the people that we serve. In your name we pray, amen.
Amen. Thank you, sir. Have a motion on the minutes? I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed is nay. Thank you. We have no special presentations, no ordinances final read, no ordinances first read. So, Madam Clerk, let's jump right on down to Resolution 7A, please.
A resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a second agreement to exercise option to renew with Valley, Tennessee in substantially the form attached for a term of 1 year for the lease of a ground level wing of the John A. Patton Arts Center at the rate of $1,400 per month and other considerations.
Councilman Henderson.
Move approval.
All right, got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed is nay. Thank you. B, please.
A resolution approving short-term vacation rental application number 18 STVR 00147 for property located at 5519 Glen Falls.
All right, is the applicant present? Is there any opposition present? There is opposition. Councilman Oglesby, what would you like to do, sir?
That the applicant is not here, is that correct? Then if that's the case, I move to deny.
All right, thank you, sir. I've got a motion and a second for denial. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed is nay. Thank you. C, please.
A resolution approving short-term vacation rental application number 18 STVR 00161 for property located at 206 West 17th Street.
All right, is the applicant present? Yes, sir. Yes. Is there any opposition present? Councilman?
Seeing that there is no opposition, I move to approve. Second.
All right. I've got a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed is nay. Thank you. D, please.
A resolution approving short-term vacation rental application number 18 STVR 00162 for property located at 4204 Seneca Avenue.
All right, is the applicant present? Is there any opposition present? Councilman?
Could you come up and give us a presentation, please?
(4204) Seneca Ave, 18 STVR 00162. I've been in contact with this applicant significantly over the last few days. She has requested a deferral until the 19th of February because of the short notice, and she is out of town this whole week.
Could you please clarify the short notice? Short notice on our part, her part?
It was a combination of both. She was under the impression she was on the docket for the 5th. When I notified her this past week on Tuesday, she informed me that she had already had out-of-town plans set for this week and then requested the deferral through me because she would not be able to be here, nor could she find anybody else to stand in her place.
Okay, with that being said, I move for deferral until February the 19th.
All right. See nothing further, so we've got a motion and a second for deferral to February 19th. All those in favor say aye. Opposed is no. Thank you. E, please.
A resolution approving short-term vacation rental application number 18 STVR 00170 for property located at 1789 East 12th Street.
All right, is the applicant present? Yes? Is there any opposition present? See none, Councilman? Oh, sorry, wrong direction. That's yours this time. You used to them all being in 7, sorry.
Totally okay. Move to approve.
All right. Seeing nothing further, got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed is nay. Thank you. F, please.
A resolution authorizing the Director of Wireless Communications to execute a lease agreement for the Tennessee Valley Regional Communications System, TVRCS, with Cold Creek Ventures for a tower site located on Wind Rock Mountain in Anderson County for a term of 3 years and with a monthly rental amount of $1,600 for years 1 through 3, with an escalating clause for years 4 through 9, as described herein, for a total amount of $57,600.
All right, I've got Councilman Henderson followed by Councilman Ledford.
Mr. Chair, if there's questions, I'll just wait on questions before. Okay. If there's no question, I'll make a motion to approve.
Seeing nothing further, I've got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Opposed is nay. Thank you. G, please.
A resolution authorizing the Director of Wireless Communications to execute a lease agreement for the Tennessee Valley Regional Communications System, TVRCS, with Cold Creek Ventures for a tower site located on Cross Mountain in Campbell County for a term of 3 years and with a monthly rental amount of $1,600 for years 1 through 3, with an escalating clause for years 4 through 9, as described herein, for a total amount of $57,600.
Councilman Henderson.
Move approval.
All right, got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Opposed is nay. Thank you. H, please.
A resolution authorizing the Chief Human Resources Officer to extend an agreement with Cornerstone On Demand for the learning management system with an option to renew for 1 additional year for an annual amount of $35,900.
Councilman Gilbert. Move to approve. Got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Opposed is nay. Thank you. I, please.
A resolution to confirm the mayor's appointment of Sarah E. McManus, J.D., LLM, to the Library Board effective February 2019 for a term of 3 years.
Councilwoman Burrs. Thank you. We've got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Opposed is nay. Thank you. J, please.
A resolution authorizing the Chattanooga Police Department to extend for a 4th and final year of funding and enhancing law enforcement responses to victims, ELERV, grant with the International Association of Chiefs of Police, IACP, in the amount of $60,000.
Councilman Henderson.
Move approval.
Thank you. Got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Opposed is nay. Thank you. K, please.
A resolution authorizing the approval of change order number 2, final for CTI Engineers, Inc., relative to contract number W15001101, MBWWTP, Detritus Rehabilitation, a consent decree supported project for a decreased amount of $3,271.64 for a revised contract amount of $424,728.36.
Councilman Henderson.
Move approval.
Thank you. I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Opposed is nay. Thank you. L, please.
A resolution authorizing the award of contract number E16006-201 to Wright Brothers Construction Company, Inc. of Charleston, Tennessee, Lupton Mill Site remediation in the amount of $1,676,744 with a contingency amount of $150,000 for an amount not to exceed $1,826,744.
All right, Councilman Mitchell.
Move approval.
Thank you, sir. I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Opposed is nay. Thank you. M, please.
A resolution authorizing the administrator for the Department of Public Works Division for Moccasin Bend Wastewater Plant to pay a city claim for property damage which occurred on January 11, 2019 at or near 2415 Bridge Circle, Chattanooga, Tennessee, to Disaster Masters in the amount of $53,439.32, and AR Building Company, DBA Bridgeway Apartment Homes, in the amount of $40,753.23, for a total amount of $94,192.55.
Councilwoman Burrs, followed by Councilman Gilbert.
Move approval.
All right, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Opposed is nay. Thank you, and please.
A resolution authorizing the approval of change order number 1 for JDH Company, Inc. of Chattanooga, Tennessee, relative to contract number Y17015-201, replacement roofing system for East Chattanooga YFD Center Building for an increased amount of $67,555 with a contingency amount of $17,500 for a revised contract amount of $242,907 for an amount not to exceed $260,407.
I've got Councilman Byrd, followed by Councilwoman Coonrod. All right. Thank you. I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Opposed is nay. Thank you. Oh, please.
A resolution authorizing the administrator for the Department of Public Works to enter into an agreement with Enco Utility Services for sewer billing services for a 1-year term with 2 optional 1-year renewals for a cost of $1.20 per bill per month, plus setup, licensing, and incidentals, shut-off notice printing, call center services, etc., for a total amount not to exceed $1.2 million.
All right. Councilman Mitchell.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This agreement still needs a little bit of work, and I am going to move that we defer this until February 19th.
All right. I've got a motion and a second for deferral to February 19th. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed is nay. Thank you. P, please.
A resolution authorizing the administrator for the Department of Transportation to enter into a partnership agreement with Murphy BSSL LLC, project number T19004-804 for the Broad and 17th Street lofts located at 1701 Broad Street, and to accept a contribution towards the cost of 9 pedestrian light poles, luminaires, conduits, and installation in the amount of $22,767.57.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed is nay. Thank you. Q, please.
A resolution authorizing the administrator for the Department of Youth and Family Development to extend the blanket contract with Willow Tree Consulting Group for support of a multi-part Head Start assessment process for a 12-month no-cost extension for an amount not to exceed $60,000.
Councilwoman Coonrod. Thank you. Got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed is nay. Thank you. That concludes our regular agenda items and takes us down to purchases. Ms. Woodard?
This evening, we have 6 items for your review, the first 5 being on behalf of the Public Works Department. First, we have a blanket contract renewal for automotive electrical supplies to be awarded to RAM Products LDT in an estimated annual amount of $25,000. Next, we have a new blanket contract for fire extinguishers and fire suppression systems and service to be awarded to Chattanooga Fire Protection, Inc. in an estimated annual amount of $85,000. Next, we have a new blanket contract for vehicle rental to be awarded to Enterprise Holdings, Inc. in an estimated annual amount of $200,000. Next, a new blanket contract for hydraulic cylinder equipment service to be awarded to Tri-State Hydraulics, Inc. in an estimated annual amount of $1 million. Next, a new blanket contract for MSA safety parts to be awarded to Air Gas USA LLC in an estimated annual amount of $1 million. And finally, on behalf of the Youth and Family Development Department, we have a new blanket contract for fresh produce to be awarded to TNT Produce Company in an estimated annual amount of $263,000.
Thank you, ma'am. What's the pleasure of the council? All right. Seeing nothing further, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Opposed is nay. Thank you very much. That takes us to other business. Is there anybody on the council that would like to discuss any other business? Councilman Byrd?
Thank you, Chair. Office of Multicultural Affairs in Urban League is hosting a party tomorrow at the Bessie Smith Hall Center at 5:30 to launch a new podcast series about ML King Boulevard. 30 students from UTC have been working for months on the podcast, and things that I've heard on it, it sounds pretty great. This is a free event, and we ask that everyone please join if you can, and that will be tomorrow at 5:30 at the Bessie Smith Hall. And the second thing would be Burgers with Burke. It's going down in my district. A lot of people want to talk to the mayor and pose a lot of questions for him. So that goes down Thursday at Armando's on Main Street, and it starts at 12 noon. So please bring your questions and come ready to have a great burger. Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. Councilwoman Coonrod.
Thank you, Chair. First, I want to recognize Dr. Brooks that's in the audience. How you doing today, sir? And I also want to just let the community members know that it's Free Children's Dental Day on Monday, February the 18th. I passed out some flyers out here. They have different appointment slots. It's out at Chattanooga State, the Dental Hygiene Clinic. You just give them a call. That number is 423-697-4488 to reserve an appointment. Anybody that you know that's a child that you think can use this service, please help spread the word. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Seeing no further lights, we'll move down to committee reports. Councilwoman Burrs? No report. Councilman Byrd? No report. Councilwoman Coonrod? No report. Councilman Gilbert? No report. Councilman Henderson?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Okay, thank you. We did have a Public Safety Committee meeting today at our 1:30 strategic planning meeting where Chief Roddy was our host. He answered questions that we had submitted to him, not only about the recent police report and incident that most everybody saw on Facebook, but also about police policy that we're going to start combing through, getting educated on so that we can better address the changes that we need to make. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Councilman Ledford?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. No report today, but our next Planning and Zoning Committee meeting will be next Tuesday, February 5th.
All right, thank you, sir. Councilman Mitchell?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We will have a Public Works and Transportation Committee meeting next Tuesday following agenda session.
Very well. Thank you. Councilman Oglesby? No report. Good. All right, thank you, sir. It takes us to the point on our agenda of recognition of persons wishing to address the council on non-agenda items. Is there anybody here this evening who would like to address the council? I see one. Mr. Attorney?
At the end of each council business meeting, the chairperson will recognize members of the public who wish to address the council. The following procedural rules will apply. Each speaker wishing to address the council shall be recognized only at the microphone provided for that purpose. No person shall have more than 5 minutes to speak. The speaker may address the council only upon matters within the legislative and quasi-judicial authority of the council. The speaker shall not be permitted to use any vulgar or obscene language, nor use the floor to personally attack or personally denigrate others. The chairperson shall not recognize any person, neighborhood association, or organization to speak to the council during the non-agenda matters portion of the agenda more than twice in any 30-day period. Persons wishing to address the council may do so only once during a council day, either at the agenda session, at a committee meeting, or at the council business meeting.
Good evening, council people. My name is Tom Slayton. I work for the City of Chattanooga Public Works. I live at 1222 Peters Road, Soddy Daisy, Tennessee. We have a problem, and it can run into a very embarrassing problem. For some reason or another, we are not allowed to use the restrooms at fleet maintenance. Person has to go in, take a vehicle in there, and maybe have to wait on it to be worked on. We are not allowed to use the restrooms in that city building, period. This has just been recent. Never had this problem before. I asked the gentleman there, Jim Templeton, why I couldn't use it. He said, just can't use it. I said, well, who instructed this? He couldn't give me a reason or a person other than higher up. This isn't right. A person that has to use the restroom doesn't make any difference where they're coming from within the city. Even somebody outside that may be delivering parts or something like that that may need to use the restroom, not allowed to. We have 2 restrooms in that building. One that the mechanics have lockers in. It's a large one. It's got showers, and it can be partitioned. Well, it's partitioned. So if you have to, if we got somebody that goes in there sticky fingers going through somebody's lockers, it shouldn't be. I can understand that, but you can put doors to separate the bathroom from the lockers in the shower. The other one is at the service entrance in the back right there, and it's just got a sink, a commode, and a towel rack or towel dispenser. I do not understand. And they say, well, we've got a woman here. Well, that's fine. That bathroom downstairs can be a unisex. They aren't going to go into the bathroom that the mechanics go in, but that can be a unisex bathroom. Lock the door. Don't lock the door. That's your fault. But, I mean, you've got a lock on the door that you can lock. And, you know, that's sad because that could be a liability if somebody has to go and they can't. And they say, well, you got to go up Paul Clark building. That's a step. And they may not make it. And that could be an embarrassing situation right there that the city could be liable for. So I just wanted to bring that to y'all's attention and see if we can't get that corrected because it's never been like that before. Thank you.
Thanks, Tom. Councilman Mitchell.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Donald, can you check into that and see if we can come up with a little bit better solution than what we've come up with so far? Sure. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, sir. Is there anybody else that would like to address the council on non-agenda matters? Mr. Tullis?
Thank you. My name is David Tullis. I'm a blogger and run a radio station here, 92.7. It's been almost a year since the council has been given notice about the limits of the transportation law, Title 55. Title 55 on transportation regulates people involved in transportation. Now, Frederico Wolf, in the notorious beating by the city officer Piazza, was, all I can tell, was not involved in transportation. The access the officer had to him in that March 10, 3:30 a.m. encounter was Title 55. Presumably, he was involved in transportation, thereby subject to the officer under state police powers through that title. And look what happened. Police stops are dangerous not just for citizens, especially at night, but they are also dangerous for officers. These are your employees. You are continuing, without giving further thought about it in this council, to have these officers have such encounters where they are at their greatest risk. The Police Memorial Organization has a study that I've cited at Nuganomics that says that traffic stops are more dangerous to the employees of the city, in blue, than domestic disturbance calls. So we have a continuing problem. My open records request indicates that no one in the city has even had an email discussing the alleged problems that I'm raising with the enforcement and the use of this law. This suggests to me a lassitude, and it also suggests that there is a kind of acceptance of my analysis. My analysis is that you cannot enforce the transportation statute on people who are private users, who are not involved in for hire use of a vehicle. And if you do, you are liable. But with the notice, which came to you Feb 20, you are liable in an even worse way, and that is because you're acting in bad faith. The mayor's acting in bad faith with his executive branch men and women in blue. They are his servants, and they have all been notified of the limits of the law. That means to say that traffic stops such as the one against Federico Wolf were done in bad faith. It was done after the notice was given, so that means you know that the statute is limited to vehicles for hire and shippers. That would be, that would be ambulance operators, that would be truckers, dump truck operators, Uber drivers, long haulers, movers. Those are all the people who are subject to the transportation law. You have been notified about that, and so what we have here in this first example, and there will be others, of an officer acting, and the city corporation acting without care of the limit of the law. I suggest we have an open city. I suggest we have a sanctuary city from the 100% statewide abuse of this law, and say, we're going to be brave and courageous. We are going to read that law again. We're going to have Phil Noblett actually read the statute, which he hasn't done, and see how it applies to private users like Mr. Wolf. And then we'll say, well, we are an open city, we are a free city, and we're going to stop abusing people, visitors and residents, through this law with these traffic stops, which do not enhance public safety. There was a study in Nashville published late last year that said of thousands and thousands of traffic stops, mostly blacks are the target, especially for pretext stops on broken taillights and the like. Blacks are about 60% more likely to get stopped, and in moving violations, blacks are about 40% more likely to be stopped than whites. So there's a racist effect, though the problem is not racial, the problem is just disregard for the law. I suggest we become a sanctuary city from the abuse of this statute in this town. Reducing risk to officers, reducing terrifying encounters of the kind that Mr. Wolf had. He was clearly just in terror of that encounter. And if you watch the video, you should have sympathy with him. And that is something that happens all across the city, all across the state. Maybe Chattanooga could lead the way in this matter, which is, I think, a national reform. I'm proposing a national reform because all states have laws like ours in Tennessee, and they all make the same claim falsely against the free market, the free use of the road by people who are exercising necessities, exercising their rights. If they're exercising a right, that can't be taxed or permitted in any way, I suggest. I think we should look at this law and not ignore the notice. Thank you.
Is there anybody else who would like to address the council this evening? Seeing none, we are adjourned. Couldn't wait till he got home to watch himself on TV. Oh, we weren't. We weren't on there.